Okay. Let me just paint a picture about our current state. You have a sister, a mother, in case of me, what brought me to in this country, returning back from Seattle. You have a loved one that happens to be in some kind of emergency situation. What you do right now is you call an ambulance. Of course, you wouldn't call the government ambulance. It's just the lack of basic necessary first aid kits and what have you. So you'd call, let's say, a better ambulance, which is the really prime example of a very successful concept translated into improving how care is managed in the country. So a better ambulance arrives. They have nurses that conduct first aid, and they'll ask you, where would you like to go? And then you just give them a list of hospitals that potentially can attain to your needs. So you will go there, you just happen to be needing, let's say, blood. The hospital has no blood, now you run around, you send people to fetch the right type of blood for your blood type. If you happen to be needing additional surgery or any type of diagnosis, then you'll be referred to another facility. So the time spent to attain to your needs sometimes is extremely detrimental, or your loved ones, and most people die. So that is the sort of the current state of how care is managed and delivered in Ethiopia. Now, if I virtually walk you into a hospital or a clinic or a pharmacy, I mean, it's just something that of a burden. So when I came back here for a different type of work, the very first question that I had asked is, look, if I can afford to pay, will I be able to actually save my mom? Will I be able to actually save my loved ones? And the experience was really nothing less than depressing. So hence, the inception of Orbit Health, or designing a smart system that will actually solve some of this tiny bit of burden by actually making information accessible to the right decision maker, hence for the doctor, for the facilities. Now let's just look fast forward in the year 2050. I'm one of the believers that the current education system will change, but doctors will not diminish. There's a tremendous amount of conversation in the digital health intellectual community that maybe you don't need doctors. What you need is a smart system like IBM Watson that can actually understand your need by sequencing your genes and whatnot. But to get to a point whereby we don't need doctors per se, it's kind of diminishing centuries-old discipline. But what I believe is going to happen is we know a lot. Information will be readily available. For example, my Apple smartwatch is connected to my medical record right now. This is year 2019 heading to 2020. So several data points are actually being accessed currently for decision making. But what I believe, all these efforts are actually attending to what I call C-care. What that means is that we are trying to heal people. But by year 2050, several things happen in Ethiopia. Yes, our population will grow tremendously, but we also can be able to leverage the technological advancements in the world. So the focus will shift from C-care to preventive care. So some of our facilities will be smart. By smart, the example I try to portray at first, your loved one, my loved one, prior to she's having some medical emergency, her smartwatch or connected devices will alert not only her, but an ambulance that we pay subscription service, or a hospital. So while she's being transported to the facility, Some of her medical needs actually are already broadcasted to the right center. So which means a blood comes from the blood bank if the hospital did not have it. If she needs a special type of kidney surgeon, that surgeon will be notified, will be readily available. So when it comes to what I call a healthcare attendant, the critical component is time. Time is the most critical factor in saving anybody's lives. So we all know the story that when we age, our immune system weakens, and if we don't get the right response at the right time, most people die just because they don't have the right support and help when they need it. So my career took me from aviation and then startups, technology, what have you, to Ethiopia. One of the major commonality across the board, whether you are designing systems for airplanes or whether you're designing systems for hospitals, the critical area that you have to be very carefully attend to is safety, security, and timely response. So when I was at Boeing, one of the things that we used to, as you all know, the recent trauma, if your systems are not designed to serve the public to save lives, which is the primary, the centerpiece of your product, then your system fails. So from where we are at right now, where dying from a simple disease is a very common phenomenon in Ethiopia, imagine in 2050, it's not going to happen overnight. There is some critical core transformational work that needs to happen, primarily our infrastructure. But beyond the infrastructure, I think the vision is the most gap that we witness anywhere and everywhere. So you can bring the minister, and then of course most people are buried with the existing problem, the current state, what I call. Imagine in 2050 would require a lot of action. Otherwise, it becomes a wishful thinking. So connecting the dots has a lot to do with designing the future state, but also anticipating the technological advancements that we can leverage and get ready to prepare our workforce, beginning our school system. So designing a different school system would require a different type of intellectuals. Not just the concept, theoretical intellectuals, but the merging between the research with the practical implementation, application of any kind of technical knowledge or technical expertise.